votes are in, and it appears Fridays have been elected to the position of awesome. I'm Carl Azus, delivering your Friday edition of CNN 10. News from an actual election headlines today's show. We have early results from the recent vote in the South Asian country of India. It looks like the nation's incumbent Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, has won a landslide victory. The country of 1.3 billion people started voting in 7 stages in early April, and the election wrapped up on May 19th. For Prime Minister Modi to stay in his job, his political party and its allies needed to win at least 272 seats in India's lower house of parliament. Early results indicated the alliance had won 350. The leader of India's main opposition party has conceded defeat, and Modi can expect another 5-year term as India's leader. Over the next few days, meetings will be held to further organize the government. Modi will be officially nominated along with other government leaders, and he's likely to take the oath of office before the month is over. What challenges lie ahead? India's unemployment rate is more than 6%. That's the highest it's been in decades. There's also been a crisis in the country's farm industry. Farmers have been protesting for months in hopes of getting better prices for their crops and help from the government in an ongoing drought. That's affected more than 40% of the country. Still, India's economy has continued growing, and in his victory speech, Prime Minister Modi dedicated the win to the people of India. 10-second trivia. What do Monaco, Japan, Singapore, and Macau have in common? Do they all have monarchies, ports in Asia, official religions, or long life expectancies? According to the CIA World Factbook, these are the top 4 places with the longest life expectancies. The life expectancy range for those locations is between 84 and 89 years. And in terms of living the longest, the U.S. isn't in the top 10. It's at number 45 on the CIA's list. So what are the secrets to living longer? We've aired several reports from CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta on healthy habits for people who aspire to live long lives. They've included exercising, putting down our digital devices, having an active social life. What's interesting is how a number of tips from the medical community overlap with the observations of a National Geographic employee who saw people living them out.
If you take a ferry from Mykonos, past landmarks of Greek mythology, you will discover Ikaria, the island where people forget to die. A place where people live to age 90 at a rate up to 4 times greater than Americans, with a fraction of our rates of dementia and Alzheimer's.
So life expectancy in America is 79. We should be able to live to 92. Somewhere along the line, we're leaving 13 years on the table.
And when a National Geographic explorer named Dan Buettner found this place, something clicked.
So my quest is, how do we get those extra 13 years? And how do we make those extra 13 years good years?
That one question sent him on a lifelong quest to bring back the secrets of the happiest, healthiest centenarians in the world. Every time his team found a pocket of longevity, they'd circle it on a map in blue ink. And they learned that in these blue zones, key lifestyle choices matter just as much or more than good genes.
Move naturally every day, be able to articulate your sense of purpose, have daily rituals that reverse the stress of everyday living, eat mostly a plant-based diet, especially beans and nuts, eat a huge breakfast, belong to a faith-based community, put your family first, keep your aging parents nearby, and curate a special group of friends, 4 or 5 friends who are going to nudge you in the right direction.
His lessons stuck with me, and as I traveled the world over the years, I assumed that blue zones were only for small, simple, isolated societies, where the healthy choice is the only choice. This could never work in the modern land of the free, home of the Whopper, right?
Yes, there he is. Top Gun.
Wrong.
Greece to Fort Worth. Good to see you, brother.
Bucking the status quo with science and common sense, Dan has blue zoned the entire states of Iowa and Hawaii. 45 American cities, including one of the biggest and unhealthiest in the land.
When I asked for a blue zone in the United States and you told me Fort Worth, Texas,
It's probably the last
I
place
thought
in
you
the
were
world
pulling my
thought,
leg.
yeah.
When my kids were in high school, I watched their friends just getting more and more out of shape. And that's happening to our whole population, particularly in Texas, land of chicken fried steak, barbecue, and Mexican food.
When Mayor Betsy Price realized her city full of sedentary and obese smokers ranked near the bottom of national wellness surveys, she started holding rolling town halls. And then she brought in Dan and Blue Zones.
And the response from the room, all the leaders there, up in the 15th floor of the Fort Worth Club, was, I don't know, it sounds like you're taking our freedoms away from us. And I said, fine, then keep doing what you're doing. And Betsy Price said, no, I think we ought to give Dan a chance.
Show Bill how we roll in Fort Worth.
The Republican mayor built more parks and sidewalks and got behind the Blue Zone's idea to create walking school buses, which gives seniors a sense of purpose each morning, tightens community, and gets kids moving.
This is part of it.
While the city bans smoking in bars and restaurants, Dan's team convinced convenience stores in food deserts to sell more fruits and veggies.
How much do you end up throwing away? None of it. Sells all. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
He got steakhouses to offer more healthy options.
This may be the first time in my life I ever ordered a vegetarian taco.
And he taught the folks at Texas Health Resources that the most coveted parking spots should be the ones furthest away from the building.
You know, doing a row of the Blue Zone's parking spaces encourages people to just take a little walk, not a big one, but a little walk.
As the CEO explains, this only works with buy-in from everyone, government, business, faith communities. And in 5 years, he says they've moved up in wellness rankings from 185th in the nation to number 31, saving around $250 million.
The people we saw in Ikaria, if you asked them how they got to be 100, they probably couldn't tell you.
Right.
You know, they just lived their life. They herded their goats, they tended their garden, they spent time with their family, they went to church on Sundays, they went to parties during the summer, but they were getting good sleep, they were eating mostly plant-based food, they were nudged into movement every 20 minutes as a residue of their environment. And we're just trying to take that blueprint from places like Ikaria and laying it over places like Fort Worth, Texas. And lo and behold, it works.
It works. And that is why Dan Buettner is my champion for change, proving that with a few healthy nudges, we can all create our own islands where people forget to die.
Navy Golden Retriever sounds like one too many colors, but not for Bud. He's a Golden Retriever who's in the U.S. Navy. In fact, of the Navy's more than 332,000 active duty staff members, Bud is the only Golden Retriever, and his job is to make sure that things that aren't allowed at Naval Station Norfolk aren't there. Usually it's German Shepherds that get jobs like this, but Bud's handlers say he does a great job and does it happily. That's why they have dogs do that work, to avoid bad catitudes. And Bud may be man's best, friendliest member of the military police. Even if he's a bit of a tattletale, he can sniff out crime, he can help fetch contraband, he's able to get barked to the basics with a golden work ethic. In short, he's a doggone great choice for animal control of the base. I'm Carl Azus for CNN 10.